Ash, Misty, and Brock are on their way to Sunny Town and, as they get close, they discover that the bridge leading there is not yet finished. They decide to cross it anyway, but the bridge guard stops them, saying the bridge is not yet complete and, even if it were, it would be for cars only. However, he suggests they could cross it by bike. Hearing this, Misty gets upset with Ash for having destroyed her bike earlier. Disappointed, they return to the Pokémon Center and, on their way, see several bikes in a store window, but they can't afford them. At the Pokémon Center, Nurse Joy asks for their help to deliver medication to a sick shelter in Sunny Town, across the bridge. They explain that they don't have bikes, but Nurse Joy kindly lends them bikes so they can deliver the medication. As Ash, Misty, and Brock cross the bridge on the bike path, Team Rocket watches them from an inflatable boat. Jesse and James comment that they already knew the place before. During a break in the crossing, Ash, Misty, and Brock are approached by a gang of cyclists, led by Chopper and Tyra. The gang leaders challenge Ash and his friends to a Pokémon battle. The first confrontation is between Ash and Chopper. Chopper chooses his Golem, while Ash, after analyzing the opponent with his Pokédex, chooses Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur tries to attack, but Golem protects itself in its shell and the damage is minimal. Golem counterattacks and manages to defeat Bulbasaur. Ash then sends Charmander into battle, who uses Flamethrower and later Fire Spin. Despite the successful attack, Golem is not yet defeated. However, Charmander's fiery attacks end up overheating Golem's body, eventually defeating it. With Chopper defeated, it's Tyra's turn to face Misty. Tyra sends out her Cloyster, and Misty tries to send out Starmie, but accidentally, Psyduck escapes from the Pokeball and enters the battle. The battle begins and Psyduck attacks, but hurts itself on one of Cloyster's spikes. Misty orders Psyduck to use Disable, but it doesn't understand the command since its headache isn't intense enough. Misty tries to get Psyduck to use Confusion, but it doesn't respond. At that moment, the battle is interrupted by the arrival of Team Rocket on unicycles. The gang leaders reveal that Jesse and James were members before joining Team Rocket. The gang offers to help Team Rocket, who asks them to steal Ash, Misty, and Brock's Pokémon. Suddenly, Officer Jenny and the police arrive, causing the cyclist gang and Team Rocket to flee. Officer Jenny talks to Ash, Misty, and Brock before leaving. Without warning, a storm begins as Ash and his friends continue across the bridge. Team Rocket, on the other hand, is challenged by the gang members to jump the drawbridge section. As the bridge lifts, Ash and his friends also reach it. Despite the obstacle, they successfully jump. Team Rocket tries the jump too but fails and falls into the water. Upon reaching the other side, the gang challenges Ash and his friends again to a Pokémon battle, but Ash says they need to deliver the medication to the Pokémon Center. The cyclist gang, realizing the noble cause, decides to escort them to the Pokémon Center in the midst of the storm. Upon arriving at the Pokémon Center, they hand the medication to Nurse Joy, who administers it to the sick shelter, making it recover. With the storm over, Ash and his friends say goodbye to Nurse Joy and the gang and continue their journey in search of new adventures and challenges in the world of Pokémon. Ash, Misty, and Brock are walking through a plain when a sudden, strong storm forms. They run in search of shelter and find a mysterious mansion known as the House of Imitation. Not finding anyone there, they decide to take shelter there until the storm passes. Inside the mansion, they see a Pikachu very similar to Ash's, except for its eyes. Ash tries to capture it but ends up discovering it's a Ditto belonging to a young girl named Duplica. Duplica challenges Ash to a Pokémon battle and, surprisingly, her Ditto, transformed into Bulbasaur, manages to defeat Ash's Bulbasaur. After the battle, Duplica shows her friends her collection of costumes and reveals that her dream is to become a Ditto master. She plans to open an imitation house to entertain people with her performances alongside Ditto. However, her Ditto struggles to transform correctly, always keeping the same eyes and mouth. While Ash, Misty, and Brock are at the mansion, Team Rocket appears and kidnaps Ditto. They try to force Ditto to transform perfectly into a Dratini and other objects, but Ditto continues to struggle. Meanwhile, Ash, Brock, Misty, and Duplica decide to rescue Ditto. They disguise themselves as Team Rocket and manage to find the villains in a cabin. When Team Rocket realizes they have been discovered, they flee with Ditto, which is transformed into Meowth, leaving the real Meowth behind. They escape in a Meowth-shaped balloon, but Ditto manages to escape and transforms into a cannon. Pikachu is launched by the cannon and attacks Team Rocket with a thunder shock, making them blast off and disappear into the sky. After the rescue, Ditto transforms again into Pikachu and, this time, manages to perfectly imitate Pikachu's face. With this achievement, Duplica can finally fulfill her dream and open her mansion as a theater where she and Ditto will perform shows to entertain people. After helping Duplica, Ash, Misty, and Brock say goodbye and continue their journey. The episode ends with Jessie and James trying to disguise Meowth as Dratini to deliver it to the Team Rocket boss, but Meowth gets annoyed and scratches the two. Ash, Brock, Misty, and Pikachu arrive at the Pokémon Center so that Pikachu can be treated. Upon arrival, they see Nurse Joy answering calls and Professor Akihabara worried because the Pokémon storage system is not working correctly. They notice this when a rare Ninetales is traded for a Magikarp when taken out of the system. Professor Akihabara realizes the problem and runs away, in disbelief. Our heroes go to the professor's lab and find a giant, computerized version of the professor's head, which guides them to a machine that transports humans into computers. There, they encounter Porygon and discover that Team Rocket has invaded the system to steal Pokémon, taking a prototype Porygon called Porygon 0. The professor says that if someone enters the system and expels Team Rocket, everything will be fine. Ash, Brock, and Pikachu enter the machine, while Misty, frightened, hesitates before being forced to enter as well. Inside the system, the heroes fall, but Porygon grows and saves them. They see that Team Rocket has placed barriers in front of the Pokeballs to prevent the Pokémon from escaping. Jessie and James release Arbok and Weezing, but Porygon turns into metal and attacks Team Rocket's Pokémon. Meanwhile, Jessie summons Porygon 0, and the two Porygon begin to fight. Ash, Misty, Brock, Pikachu, and Porygon try to move the barriers, but Team Rocket tries to stop them. Porygon 0 is hit and pushes Team Rocket out of the system. A programmer arrives at the Pokémon Center and applies a powerful vaccine to the system. Nurse Joy informs Professor Akihabara, who becomes worried and warns Ash and his friends to hurry, otherwise, they won't be able to return to the real world. The heroes flee with Porygon, while Team Rocket escapes with Porygon 0. The vaccine missiles pass very close to them, exploding and displaying flashing red and blue lights. The programmer uses a powerful command that hits Porygon 0, causing Team Rocket to fall into a black hole with the weakened Porygon 0. Ash decides to help Team Rocket and manages to pull them out of the black hole. With everyone on board Porygon, they struggle to fly due to the extra weight. A vaccine missile is fired, and Pikachu uses Thunder Shock to destroy it, creating more flashing red and blue lights. They manage to enter the transport point moments before another missile hits them. Professor Akihabara's lab and machine are destroyed. Team Rocket thanks Ash and his friends before running away. Nurse Joy says that, thanks to the vaccine, everything is back to normal. Ash leaves Pikachu with Joy, and the episode ends. As Ash, Misty, and Brock travel through a forest, Ash's Pikachu encounters a small wild Pikachu that runs away when it sees him. Pikachu chases after it and discovers a clearing in the woods where there is a herd of Pikachus. He tries to approach and greet them, but the Picachus get scared and hide. Eventually, they realize that Ash's Pikachu is not dangerous, and they all begin to play together. When trying to show the herd to Ash, the wild Picachus get scared and run away. Ash apologizes and talks with Misty and Brock about why the Picachus are afraid of them, concluding that they probably have never had contact with humans before. Next, a small Pikachu accidentally falls into a river and is rescued by the herd of Picachus, including Ash's. The friends watch the rodent's happiness and begin to think that perhaps Pikachu would be happier with its own kind than with its trainer. At night, while the Picachus sing to the moon, Ash considers releasing his Pikachu. Team Rocket appears and captures all the Picachus, but thanks to Ash's Pikachu, they manage to escape. Pikachu bursts Team Rocket's balloon, and everyone celebrates. Faced with this situation, Ash decides to leave his Pikachu with the herd. He says goodbye and starts to walk away, but Pikachu follows him. Ash insists that Pikachu stay with his friends and runs off. Misty and Brock catch up to Ash, and at that moment, Pikachu and the herd appear on the horizon. The other Pikachus say goodbye, and Pikachu runs back into Ash's arms, who becomes emotional and cries. The narrator concludes the episode saying that in their hearts, they know they will always be together.